Yeah, sounds good. Well, hi everyone. We're glad to be here. I'm Stefan, business development and operations at Orion. We also have Capano, our community manager, and Simone from Fantom, the chief marketing officer. So, hi guys, nice to be here with you guys.
Thank you, Stefan.
Yeah, likewise, Stefan. Thank you very much.
Yeah. It's fun to do these. Like honestly, we haven't planned anything. It's not really scripted. We're just having a casual talk here to discuss what just happened. Basically, Orion integrating Phantom and now available on Phantom. It's obviously just the first step, and we're going to keep building on top of it. But this integration that was launched like last week, I think, yeah, it really is a first step into our big goal here of market wide operability, where liquidity from from different exchanges and different chains all are blended together in one single access point, right? Um, and I think it's a cool for like I'm not sure here like how many here are from the Phantom community or from Orion, but basically this integration now really allows Phantom users to have access to really what is the world's best liquidity source, centralized exchanges. And centralized liquidity, specifically Binance, KuCoin, Ascendex, which are like large centralized exchange that are currently aggregated by Orion. So basically what this means is that moving forward, you can, if you're trading on DeFi, you're trading on Phantom, you're using different Phantom platforms, um, now Orion, what Orion provides is really an access point to the best prices and the best liquidity from the Binance exchange and further exchanges. Um, yeah, so I don't know how you guys want to do this. So, Simone, I'll just ask you a question. So, what does this really mean for Phantom to have finally access to centralized exchanges in a decentralized fashion?
Of course. Yeah, this is quite cool, and it's something that we in the Phantom community actually was looking forward for quite some time. Um, so we've seen a enormous growth for Phantom when it comes to DeFi, with hundreds of thousands of users and more than 200 dApps deployed on Phantom. And Phantom became, in a way, sort of the DeFi chain, where the innovation happened. And for several reasons, we can talk about them afterwards. But I would say Orion is sort of another piece of the puzzle. And it was something that wasn't on Phantom before. So there are many decentralized exchanges, among the best exchanges in the world, actually. So SpookySwap on top of them. But of course, having Orion and what Orion does, so basically it aggregates liquidity across all the different DEXs, and not only DEXs, but also centralized exchanges. It's a huge step forward for the global user experience, right? Because as a user, you don't need to even have an account on Binance, for example, to access the liquidity on Binance through Orion. And I think that's just something unique to Orion, and it's something that is definitely, as I said, it's a big help and benefit for the users.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, like there are excellent decentralized exchanges right there. But what we believe in is really blending both worlds, the centralized world and then the decentralized world. Because when you see like all the big exchanges, Crypto.com, Binance, like all the marketing that goes behind them, like centralized exchanges, as much as DEXs are great and they provide like as much as they're great tools and they're going to keep growing, the reality is that the typical mainstream consumer that currently isn't in crypto, but that will be maybe in 2 years from now, probably will first start its crypto journey with a centralized exchange, right? Because they'll see like all the big ads from all the big, Binance, KuCoin, all of those exchanges. So that's why we really think it's important to offer this liquidity available to anyone. And yeah, like you said, without any account, without any, there's no global restrictions when you're using Orion. So yeah, and just to touch on like the aggregation that we do, that we really believe is superior to other aggregators, because yeah, there are other, some people call them competitors, but really they're not doing exactly what we're doing. What we're doing really is blending liquidity from centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges. What this means is really, if you're buying a token, we're not going to give you the option of using a centralized exchange or a decentralized exchange. Really, what we're doing is you buy in and we'll give you access to the centralized exchange and the liquidity from the decentralized exchange. Like the liquidity is blended together. You'll see like other aggregators, what they do is like they'll show you the best price on Binance, or they'll show you the best price on SpookySwap, and then you basically have to select one or the other. With Orion, it's really one and the other. So that's a big difference here.
Personally, I also think that's one of the biggest things Orion brings. It's not of the user concern, basically, where the trade is executed. If it's executed on Binance or if it's executed on SpookySwap, it doesn't really matter at what exchange the trade get executed, as long as you get the best price with the least slippage. That, from my perspective, is the biggest thing Orion now brings to the Fantom chain, because yeah, when you look at it from a DEX perspective, you always have to deal with the liquidity pools they offer. So also the depth of the liquidity pool is, can be detrimental to your slippage you incur. For example, like the B2C pool on SpookySwap isn't that deep, and now we basically add the Binance liquidity to that asset to trade. So yeah, it's I think from a Fantom user perspective, it's really brings new utility to the chain.
Yeah, from the user, like, exactly. Like, we just wanted to make it as easy as simple for users to use Orion, to use like basically have the best prices, right? And I was just actually the other day I was comparing if you were to buy Bitcoin on Orion using the Fantom chain versus buying Bitcoin on the Fantom chain, but using the F wallet, the official F wallet that uses other aggregators and other exchanges. Really, the best price was on Orion, and that was like for like a 5,000 or $10,000 order. So imagine like when you get to like larger orders, tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, like one day millions of dollars going, being bought on decentralized, in the DeFi space, then that's when having the best price really matters, and having like smart routing trades and all that. So speaking of the F wallet, like Simone, we're our devs are working hard with your dev to integrate that, bring Orion to the F wallet so that it's super simple for your users to, have access to the best prices. And just one point you said, Capano, that when you talk about liquidity pools, one of the big problem or challenge that projects have, speaking with different projects over the last few months, is that they want to have their token available on any chain, but that requires them to open up liquidity pools on multiple dexes, right? Like if they want to be on a Polygon, they have to open a liquidity pool on QuickSwap, on Fantom, SpookySwap, Pancakeswap, all that. And every time they open a new liquidity pool, it's just like they have to like have either rewards or create marketing around that, but basically like it's not very sustainable because they're separating their liquidity. They're not their liquidity is separated, and they have to like every time push their users to provide liquidity here, provide liquidity there. Someone asked me in a private message, why is the Orion USDT liquidity pool so low on Orion right now? Like on the Fantom version. Basically, if you go on Orion, the Fantom version, you'll see that we opened up a super small liquidity pool for Orion, like the Orion USDT pool. Well, the reason is that we don't need to create a new large liquidity pool on Fantom. We don't need to do that, and that's like a perfect example of why it's such a big advantage to have like this superior technology. Is that any project right now, for example, like we're taking Orion as an example. We wanted to have our own token on Fantom, but we didn't have to create a new liquidity pool. Basically, we just launched it on Orion with like a very, very small liquidity just for it to work. But when users go, like Fantom users, if they want to buy Orion right now, they can't do so But the Orion is not going to come from the Fantom liquidity pool. Really, it's going to be coming from Binance and Orion Dex, or like other sources that are in other chains or on centralized exchanges. So we didn't have to create like a new staking reward system or like push people to open up to provide liquidity on our Fantom pool. We didn't need to do any of that. And now it's the same. It's going to be the same thing with other projects once they're if they're currently listed on Binance or KuCoin. If they want to open up, create a new token on Fantom, all they need to do really, they create a small liquidity pool, and then we'll connect it to the best liquidity source that their current token is available on. And so that's the goal, right? Like it's all brick by brick that we're building, but this just shows why it's important to have really cross-chain liquidity aggregation, or true cross-chain aggregation.
Yeah, this is great, and I can see benefits then, not only for users, because as you guys mentioned, of course, access to deeper liquidity is extremely helpful and beneficial. Especially actually the example that you brought up, the BTC example. So you're right. I mean, on Fantom and also on other chains, there's not much liquidity when it comes to Bitcoin, for example, or Ethereum also. These assets that generally live on other chains or not even on chains. Maybe yes, BTC has, I would say WBTC probably has quite some liquidity on Ethereum, but in reality, the most liquidity that you for BTC, you find it on centralized exchanges. So for users, when it comes to trading those assets, finally they can do so on chain, and without incurring in enormous slippage or getting the best prices. But also, as you said, projects, they, especially those that are going multi-chain and cross-chain, they really don't need to worry anymore about deploying a massive amount of liquidity across multiple chains, which also most of the times they cannot, because they don't have as much liquidity, to actually deploy the same amount of liquidity across multiple chain, unless they do what you were mentioning, which is basically fractional liquidity, which is really not great. So I'm very happy about what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
It's really like a 360-degree sort of solution for everyone.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Simone. It's especially those top 100 assets that have thin liquidity on other chains. That's the assets we can help bringing liquidity from the centralized exchanges to in this case the Fantom chain. So it's really on those assets that don't have the possibility for Bitcoin. It's obvious they can't provide liquidity rewards or something on a certain chain. So that's a key differentiator of Orion, to bridge that gap between acting on one chain and bringing the centralized liquidity to it. So from a user perspective, they have access to it and they don't have to leave that chain, the chain they prefer. So yeah.
Yeah, we're really trying to reduce headaches for not only users but projects themselves, and it's gonna keep getting better because like our devs are working on Uniswap and Pancakeswap aggregation. That's a big focus for us because like we have a lot of projects. They're like, yeah, we have a liquidity on Pancakeswap, so they're on the BSC exchange, BSC ecosystem. But once we have Uniswap, Pancakeswap, and SpookySwap, and access with Binance, KuCoin, then you're gonna start, and the chain that we're also working on right now. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about them because this is about Fantom, but basically you're going to start seeing like a lot more growth and tokens and projects want it to be on Orion just because it'll be like a very easy thing for them to do. They won't need to bridge, they won't need to like move their liquidity from Pancakeswap or from Uniswap, or it'll be like really easy for them. And so we're building that right now. It's a big focus for us. And but again, like we're always, I really believe like Orion is building the right technology. I was just thinking like the complex swaps. I'm on the terminal right now, and complex swaps basically is when you go on a DEX and it tells you, all right, you have to. There's like a route that the trade does. So say you want to buy Fantom using Bitcoin. Basically, you'll sell your Bitcoin first for USDT, and then USDT buys Fantom, for example. So that's what we call a complex swap. There's two swaps in one, and that's like established technology. A lot of dexes have it. It's easy to do. Centralized exchanges, some of them have it too, and there's like a quick convert function, but basically that's a technology that exists. Complex swaps, right? We have that too, of course, but we're really pushing that concept further. We released by creating virtual order books. We released them a few weeks ago. Basically, a virtual order book is it's a bit hard to explain, but once you see it in action, it kind of makes sense. And once you see it, you can't really look back. Basically, what it does, it continuously calculates complex swaps and continuously calculates like the best prices across different liquidity pools. So, for example, if you go on the Orion terminal right now and you look at the BOO USDC pair, and then you click on the virtual paths on our terminal, basically you'll see that the price is not always the best on that pool. Like, and this pool is coming from SpookySwap, by the way. So, for example, if you want to buy BOO, here BOO USDC, you click on virtual paths, you'll see that often you'll see the order book is actually created by complex swaps via the USDC FTM pool and FTM to BOO pool, together with the USDC BOO pool. So, but anyway, go on the website and you'll see what I mean. Basically, we're really blending liquidity pools together, and having them shown in an order book really is first of all, it's a visual proof that our technology works and that our technology is superior, because just to create that, you have to understand the system continuously calculates prices as the trades occur on SpookySwap. And this creates, it really offers the user best prices, but also creates arbitrage opportunities, when pools are inefficient, which, when there's arbitrage opportunities, but bots run on them, and then it creates more volume on Orion. So I thought that's pretty interesting, because this also is something that doesn't exist. It's a concept that right now it might seem like it doesn't matter, for small trades of like $1,000, a few thousands of dollars here. But once you get into like larger trades, you really start seeing why, it's important to, get the best price. Anyway, just to switch gears here, because I know we wanted to do this within 30 minutes. Simone, so what do you think, the market is pretty bad right now. Why do you think DeFi users should use Fantom instead of other chains?
That's well, I'm probably, of course, biased, but still right now, I mean, there are a few reasons, right? So first one is that Fantom still offers the best user experience when it comes to interacting with the network. I tried pretty much every other chain, and I invite everyone actually to do the same. So they, don't take my word for granted. Just go and try it out, and you'll see what I mean. So when I say that Fantom has the best user experience, it's a combination of, actually how easy it is for the user to do what they want to do. In this case, we're talking about swapping, trading assets. Well, on Fantom, transactions are final on average on 1 second. So it's basically instant. And that's quite unique. There's only a couple of other chains where this happens. But in addition to this, also fees on Fantom are extremely low. So this combination of instant, almost instant transaction execution and very low fees is quite unique to Fantom. On top of that, Fantom, unlike other chains, Fantom is quite decentralized, even if people like to say that is not the case. But on Fantom, each validator is a block producer, which means that all the 68 validators actually actively participate in the network. So if one of them goes down, not a problem. There's other 67. Other chains, there, we've seen, multiple examples of, say, chain reorgs, or chains that go down for 7 hours and then come back. Well, on Fantom, this can't happen. It never happened in 2.5 years. And even under, extreme traffic, extreme stress, of course, being EVM under, extreme network usage, the gas prices go up. So there's no sort of competition for gas prices, but still, even when gas prices go up, we're still talking, orders of a magnitude less than Ethereum, for example, and still fees cheaper than on other networks. This is purely from a technological standpoint. Then there's the ecosystem part. So the Fantom ecosystem is quite large. I would say if you look at dApps, it's probably the third largest, if I'm not mistaken, right after Ethereum and BSC, which means that you can find pretty much anything that you would want on, when it comes to DeFi on Fantom. So we have multiple dexes now, including, of course, Orion with your great technology, but there are any sort of financial products, lending and borrowing, algorithmic stable coins and so on, and multiple farming opportunities, staking opportunities. So really, Fantom can be a sort of one-stop shop for all the DeFi needs for users. And once again, it's easy. There's no weird, suddenly bridging sort of thing. There's no, it's really easy for users to actually interact with the network, and even actually not necessarily interact with the network, because I really like when things are abstracted from the users, which is what you guys are doing. So with Fantom, it almost feels like a Web2 experience when it comes to actually click a button and execution of that action. So that's, I would say that these reasons are, pretty much sum up what I think about the whole experience on Fantom, or why people should use Fantom when it comes to DeFi.
Very cool, very cool. I've scrolled a bit to our listeners, and I recognize a good deal of Orion community members in here. Thank you for being here. So maybe Simone, can you tell us some things coming up from the Fantom chain you're really excited about? Because our listeners might not be that familiar with what's coming for Fantom. So yeah, can you share some things?
I can tell what's already been announced publicly, which is we're doing some upgrades at the protocol level, at the consensus level, to make once again the experience overall even better. So we're doing changes so that validators can join the network even faster. We're doing changes so that the blockchain can be pruned at the validator level, so that to reduce the storage space. But these are quite technical improvements. But once again, they will for sure benefit everyone. Then more in the long term, we're working on the Fantom virtual machine. So the Fantom virtual machine is going to be sort of an alternative, better version of the Ethereum virtual machine. The EVM is sort of it's a good embed of all the EVM chains compared to just like Fantom. It's good because, of course, all the EVM chains are compatible with each other, and they're compatible with Ethereum. So that, of course, opens up a lot of opportunities. But at the same time, EVM has quite some big limitations for several reasons, and no need to go deep with them. But so we're working on this new middleware stack, which is the FVM. That will be released in phases, of course. So I would say that the completion, probably we're going to see it in a couple of years. But we're going to see the initial impact of the FVM. I would say, of course, not in 2 years. Probably in a few months or beginning of next year, we're going to see the first rollouts. It is, of course, the FVM is a big improvement, and it will be even absolutely clear for users as well. So probably we're going to see even lower time to finality, so transaction will be even faster, and possibly even cheaper. And in general, so the chain will scale better. Now, something that maybe I'm excited about, because it's also much closer in time, is what you, Stefan, were mentioning, is the integration of Orion within the Fantom Wallet. So we recently released an updated version, actually fully redesigned and rebuilt from scratch version of the Fantom Wallet. It's currently in beta because we're ironing out a few bugs. Actually, almost minimal, but we're getting some great feedback from the community. And as you mentioned, a new feature that we introduced in the new wallet is the possibility to swap assets right within the wallet. So users can just, log in their wallet, stake and send assets as usual. What you do with, within a regular wallet, but also you can bridge assets to and from Fantom, to and from all other chains, and as well swap your tokens directly from the wallet. So no need to leave the wallet to do these basic operations. And we're working, our devs are working with the Orion devs to actually integrate the Orion terminal. I would say probably in the next weeks, and it will be ready for everyone to use. I'm very excited about it because of all the reasons we brought up. So right now, not only people will be able to actually swap tokens of the Fantom ecosystem, or but also access that deeper liquidity that we talked about. And now, so also people that want to buy, maybe also in size. If maybe there are quite a few whales also on Fantom, and I would say accessing that BTC liquidity, that ETH liquidity, and also all the top 100 tokens that are not on Fantom, but with the same liquidity as Binance. I think that would be a game changer.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, we try to steer away from giving definite dates, but yeah, it's coming as soon as possible, the F-Wallet integration. And yeah, for everyone who here isn't really fully aware of what Orion is, like I really invite you to go on our terminal, and you'll be able to really see the liquidity we talk about here. Like that you select the Fantom network, and you'll be able to see our order book really comes from Binance, and the other sexes are integrated in the backend. It's just like right now they're not shown, but our devs are working on it. But basically, you'll be able to see what we talk about. That wow, you really have access to Binance liquidity, which is by far the world's greatest liquidity source. So that's great. I know it's already 11 a.m. here. Did you guys have more points, Capano or Simone, that you want to touch on? Otherwise, I think I'm going to go on the Telegram, and I'll be available for the next 30 minutes or so. If anyone has questions, I'll be able to answer them there. But anything else you guys wanted to add?
I wanted to thank Simone for being here and giving us some things coming up for the Fantom chain, which sounded really amazing. And also our listeners, of course, for joining in and listening to us. So yeah, thank you all.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you, Stefan and Capano. It was a pleasure, and I'm really looking forward to, of course, to the Orion integration within the Fantom Wallet, and any other sort of collaboration that we can do in the future.
Sounds great. All right. Well, thanks everyone, and yeah, if you have any questions, reach out to us on our Telegram. I'll be answering them now. All right. Thanks everyone.
All right. Enjoy the day. Goodbye, all.
Bye bye.
Goodbye. Bye.